towards in the new year, you notice some things are shifting and changing and getting adjusted as we get kind of prepared for the things to come. Cameron, you played football, right? What position did you play? Linebacker and running back. Okay, I didn't play football. I just watch it on TV. So I ran track and I wrestled. But I do know that before the play, you had to get in position, right? I always have to be in position before the play happens, right? You don't get in position when the play is happening. Some people do, but that's poor management, right? You would agree? I don't play football. I just watch it on TV. Have to be ready. You get in position. You get in position. You get in position. You get in position. You're getting in position for the things to come. There are many things that you are wanting God to do in your life. You're asking God to do for you, for your family, through you, on you, in your community, and the churches and your school and your job, whatever it might be. Many times before I'm going to use the word manifestation, the realization of something happening, God is working to get you in position first. Okay? Before you able to, did you ever catch the ball like a receiver? Sometimes. Okay, all right. When these things happen, oftentimes, the ball is thrown. You have to position yourself so you're able to catch what's coming. Okay. So as we were saying yesterday, don't be weary in your well-doing, because as you are well-doing for God, that's what defines it as well, or good, or godly. Okay. God is positioning you, preparing you for the things to come. Okay. Wise people are good stewards of what God gives. So you're preparing yourself. You show that you can manage what's coming and then preserve what's there. So there's some adjustments and things that you're seeing. We're moving into two distinct services, put it that way, two distinct services. And I had to tell somebody it's not based on, well, there's overflowing. We ain't got no room, so we got to do another one. No, not at all. The service is asking God to be here. The experience with God is what transforms you. Does that make sense? The experience with God is what transforms you. Okay? So a service is an experience with God. So if you think about it, really, it sounds kind of weird. Where I'm going to choose had this experience, but I don't want the other experience. No, get as much from God as you possibly can get. Let the experience of God transform you. So moving forward from it's nothing wrong with that. From the Sunday school model to the morning glory model, which is the experience with God. And then we will continue on to have morning worship, so you can continue to have an experience with God. All things that grow you and change you. One of the things that I'm learning is it's not about my ability to accumulate knowledge and stuff. Well, if I study this and I know that this is Greek and then this is from the Roman age, and what happens is it comes from here, and then I can understand that better. Well, and that gets me closer to God. No, it's the time that I spent with God that gave me the revelation, and being in his presence is a thing that transforms me, not the knowledge itself. That's the reason why these experiences are so important, because it puts you it gives you an encounter with God that will transform you. Okay. Ask you guys a question, and we can have some dialogue. Come on in. What is the church? What is the church? Y'all can talk. This is morning glory. We can talk. What is the church? We are the church. I don't know. What does that mean? Yes. What is the church? And you can answer online as well. What is the church? If you had to define the church, what would you say? What is the church? Okay. The church is not the building. Okay. Uh-huh. Perfect church, not a denomination. Anybody else? What is the church? Yes, sir.
I'll look at it like an ingredient. This is part of it. The church is the body.
The church is the body.
So
yes.
You can have church anywhere.
Yes.
You don't have to have a building.
Yes.
As long as you got the foundation, the ingredients in the body.
That's right. That's right. So it's not about the building, it's about the people, it's about the body. It's not a denomination. Right? Now, here's the next question. Yes, ma'am. What is the church? The church is an organism that moves. Yes. 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 These are all deep definitions. Now, here's the next question. What is the purpose of the church? The purpose of the church is to grow the body. Okay, what else? What's the purpose of the church? And again, if you're joining us at home, you can put your question here as well. We like to have conversations, definitely here in morning worship. So what's the purpose of the church? Why does the church exist? Uh-huh. 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 Planting seeds. Help reconcile us back to God. Let's pause there for a moment. Why do we need to be reconciled back to God? Let's go way, way, way back at the beginning. In the beginning, we know was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. But let's also go back to Genesis. Okay? In the beginning, the world was without form and void. Darkness was on the face of the earth. The Spirit of God moved across the face of the waters and said, "Let there be light." Okay, but we know that God created something first, and then it became without form and void. So something happened between verse 1 and verse 2. We know that Satan was involved in that. Okay, and so now let's fast forward to Adam and Eve actually being created. The Word says that Adam and Eve, they were created in the image and likeness of God. So God didn't create babies. They didn't come out like little Jedediah trying to figure out what's going on. They were created in the image and likeness of God. God himself is complete and whole and perfect, is he not? So to be made in God's image and likeness means that you also were complete and whole, wanting nothing. Does that make sense? Okay, so they were created that way. And then something happened. Then sin happened. To be very specifically, a choice was made that was different from what God wanted for them. And look what happened for all of us. A decision was made. A decision was made. A choice was made that altered some things, that affected some things. So now, instead of, and we'll get into this in the next service as well. So now, instead of just being in the likeness of God, okay, and the image of God, which means how you carry yourself, okay, now they look like God, but now they are operating below their station, right? But operating below their station because of sin. Because of sin. So Jesus came to die for our sins. And a lot of things you read in the Word is always talking about perfection. We'll get into this later in the next service. Perfection, perfecting us, perfecting us, perfecting us. Why do we come to church? Here's the next question. What's the purpose of coming to church? What's the purpose of sitting in the pew? I think all of us sitting in pretty much the same seats. We always in it every single Sunday. Cameron over there. You can kind of be in that general area. She be there. Brian be right there. You be there. You be there. If everybody's in the same place, we come Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. We sing the same songs. You know. What's the purpose in coming to church? For what purpose? For what reason? Especially if I'm not the pastor, I just come and I sit. Okay, I got a normal 9-to-5 job. I got bills up to pay. What's the purpose of me coming? I mean, as long as I don't kill nobody, right? As long as I don't do drugs and kill people and I'm good, isn't that enough? Why not?
Because it's growth. It's where you come and get your marching orders, your instructions.
Put a pin in, that was good. Please turn to Jeremiah 29 and 11. This is really important. Jeremiah 29 and 11. Because now we're getting into, because I had to ask God this question. Okay, God, I know what the church is, but what's the purpose of the church? But why? Yes, ma'am.
I can speak for myself.
Uh-huh.
It gives me opportunity when please understand I use this to separate myself by choice from the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
The church comes to the building itself.
Mm-hmm.
You come in because we're really human.
Yes.
We have issues.
Yes.
But I know at the same time we've made a choice to move forward
Mm-hmm.
in God's word.
Yes.
This is what helps me.
Yes. It's helpful. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
There's so many things in there, but it's part of my battle.
Part of your battle. Uh-huh. Sometimes I don't either. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. No, that's it. Sometimes I don't want to either. Yeah. It's the truth. It's the truth. I be tired. Sometimes I don't feel good. Be working, doing all this stuff. Come on, man. Nah. Sometimes, can we be real? So what's the purpose of it then? Who has Jeremiah 29:11? Can you read it? I'm gonna repeat it so the people online can hear too. Yes, sir. Pause real quick. Pause real quick. Pause real quick. I'm gonna go with you so I can read out with them. It says, for I know. Who's the I? So God is knowing something. For I know the what? What is it, Cameron? I'm sorry.
For I know the thoughts that I thought. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you.
Pause real quick. So God has thoughts. Another translation says plans that he's thinking toward you. Now he's making it personal. He's making it very personal and individual. So I want you to pause for a moment and just think to yourself, accept the reality that God has thoughts and plans specifically about you. And you can put your name in there. Specifically about you. You. Yeah, he cares about the body. Yeah, he cares about, I love all my kids. People say that kind of stuff. I love everybody, everybody. But here, God is specifically saying you. The word says that he knows how many hairs you have on your head. I don't have that many, but he knows how many. He knows specifically. Did you know that your fingerprint is different from every other fingerprint on the earth? Do you know that? Do you know there will never be a person that will ever exist like you after you? Did you know that there was never a person that was just like you before you? You are specifically unique and special. It was purposeful. God was thinking about you and planning you. He was planning you. He was thinking about you. And he said, I have an idea. I have a thought. In the beginning was the word, the thought, the plan, the idea. And you were a part of that. And he was like, oh man, Ryan, oh yeah, this going to be good. Y'all watch this. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to do it like that. We're going to give her some of this. We're going to give her some of that. She's going to be like this. When she laughs, it's going to be like this. When these things happen, she's gonna care so much. She's gonna feel, so she's gonna be like that. But she's gonna be down sometimes because she's gonna be like, "Oh man, but I'm gonna make her so special and so unique." Oh, well, I can't wait. I'm excited. That's what God thought about when He was creating you. Now I put my own spin on it, of course. So Lord, I'm sorry, but God can tell you what He was thinking about when He was thinking about you. You ever asked God that before? Last night I asked God. I said, "God, what's on your heart? What's on your mind?" And immediately I felt a sadness. Because he's thinking about the people that are not that will die without knowing who he is. And then I thought, okay, well, God, well, what do you want me to do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? How can I help? What do you want me to do? And I was encouraged to make sure that I stay in position to do what he's called me to do so that his people can do what they're called to do, so that the people that don't know him don't have to die without knowing who God is. I felt a sadness from God when I asked him, God, what's on your heart? What's on your mind right now? But let's go back. Let's finish that. So for I know the thoughts I think toward you. Keep going.
Says the Lord.
Uh-huh. Thoughts of peace and not evil. Uh-huh. To give you, that's you individually, an expected end. Remember, is this a corporate statement or this is an individual statement? So he's talking about you, which means each and every one of you have an expected end. Now let's go a little bit deeper in that, okay? There is a future state of you that exists. It's not about if you're I ain't a preacher, so as long as I don't kill nobody, don't do no drugs. I come, I clap a little bit, I'm okay. Take that concept out of your mind and throw it out the window, because that's not the point. You just heard it. You individually have a future state that you're supposed to be getting to. Not even on your own. It's a future state that you individually, imagine in your mind, what is that future state for you? When I stop for a moment and I think about all the things that I did, some good and some not good. I kicked it. I had a good time. And I ain't kill nobody. I ain't do no drugs. Which I said, no, I didn't. I've never done drugs and I ain't never killed nobody. Nothing like that. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just talking about me. If you've killed somebody, okay, we'll pray for you or something like that. Okay. But no, Josiah has never killed nobody, never done any drugs. Because I don't think I killed nobody. Okay. So, okay. But I think back to my time in high school and in college, kicking it, having a good time, two-stepping. If you can two-step, you could, strolling. If you two-step, you could do any dance. So I tell people that can't dance, all you got to do is just two-step. If you can't dance, just do a two-step. You can do a two-step. You can go to any wedding, any party in the world, and you're gonna be okay. Just two-step. Just two-step. Every dance, just two-step. That's all you gotta do. You in there. So I would two-step, do all of those things. So I look at myself, then I look at where I'm the same person I am now, and I'm like, wow, look at the path it took to get here. And guess what? I'm still not done yet. Sorry, Lord. God's still not done yet with me. So there's a future state. Why? Because Deacon Cameron just read that there's an expected end that he has in store in mind for you. For you. For you. I have not seen, ear have not heard what God has in store for those that love him. So there's a future state that he has in mind for you, a place he's trying to get you to. He's trying to get you to it. So what's the purpose in church? An encounter with God that is designed to perfect you step by step so that you individually get to the state that he has for you. For you. So sometimes we get caught up in the other things that are a part of the experience, thinking that itself is church. But God, because of sin, is saying, oh my gosh, they're no longer in my image. I have to get them back to my image. I have to build them and perfect them to get them to this future state that I have in store for them. But I ain't a pastor though. So, that ain't, but I'm tired. But I do this and I got to do that. And my tummy hurt today. I'm not trying to mock you. I'm just being real. I'm being real. But there's all these things that are going on around me. And God is like, but I have a plan in mind for you. There's something I'm trying to help make you better and stronger. And the only way that's going to happen is if you're in a place where you can get a rhema word, which is a right now word, a word for you that you can eat and meditate on and grow that will transform you to help you to get you to the future state that I have in store for you. Does that make sense to everybody? And Satan's job is to keep you from that future state. Do you hear me, somebody? To keep you from that future state. And he will use logical, valid things. I'm not saying anybody's here is not using anything logical and valid. Come on, we're not saying that. When you don't feel good, you honestly don't feel good. When you tired, you really don't, you tired. Sometimes you don't feel like coming to church. Can we be real? It's not like these things aren't real. It's not that you don't feel them and you don't experience them. We're not saying that. Yes, 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 and all, yeah, and all of that. Yes, yes, and all of those things, and all those things, and all of those things. All those things are all factual things. All factual things. It's so funny. So yesterday we had a meeting here. Jedediah was here, and then Ebony goes, "Hey, I got to do some stuff over here. We take Jedediah with you." I'm thinking to myself, like, man, and I got to go get Connor, and then I had to go to an event that evening. I ain't even start preparing for this today. Like, how am I gonna get all this stuff? So I'm sitting there trying. Okay, I'm just trying to make mashed potatoes and stuff like that, so the boy can eat. Trying to eat something myself. He pooping on himself and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how can I? I'm like, man, I got to take care of him. But I was tired. I was already here working. I had already woken up earlier and went to a whole class. I'm not trying to put myself. I'm just being. Can I be real? I had to go to an early morning class that morning. Then I came here and did a whole meeting here. And then I had to somehow get dressed, put on this old bow tie, and go to this whole evening thing that I didn't want to go to. Okay. And then, and I hadn't even sat down to even, okay, God, what do you want? I hadn't even done that part yet. And I'm sitting here meanwhile, the boy was still hungry. He still had a need.
Yes. Come on.
Does it mean that all the things that I felt, does it mean that those things weren't factual? No, those things were just as factual. Yes, those things mattered, but it did not circumvent the fact that I needed to feed my child. So what you're feeling or what you're experiencing, yes, you're tired. Yes, you're frustrated. Yes, things are happening in your life. Yes, you don't feel good. Yes, sometimes you may not even feel like being in church or in service. I get it. I feel the same way all the time. Can we be real? Can we be real? Can we be real? But it does not circumvent the fact that God still has a plan and you have a future state, and you will not get to your future state unless you get what God has for you. It does not separate the fact. As tired as I was, as frustrated as I was, and as much as I hadn't eaten myself, all of these things I had not done, my son still had a need. It did not erase everything because the other things were present. So then the question was, Josiah, then what's the priority? Take care of your son. Make sure he's good. Now, I made him a bottle, put him in his crib, like, all right, just drink that and go to bed so I can eat something real quick. But I thought about it. To meet his need. I cut some corners, but I thought about it. Okay, Emily came home, she took care of it, but I thought about it. I prioritized what was the most important thing in that moment. What's the most important thing to you? See, I looked at a picture of my grandmother as I was preparing and just listening to God. And I thought to myself, man, there's always going to come that moment when the next moment doesn't exist for you any longer. And then you can't go back in time and fix and get and do all the things. What did you do with the time that God gave you? to get to the future state that he has in store for you. And you can't go back. The moment that I'm snapping, these moments you don't get back. They don't exist any longer. They don't exist. That will never happen again. It doesn't exist any longer. It doesn't exist any longer. And so God is desperately trying. Sorry, not even desperately. Well, he's working hard to work with you to get you to your future state. To get you to your future state. To get you to your future state. Not mine for you, but your future state. You can't see or imagine what that is. And so we have difficulty trying to get there. Some of us, we can't see ourselves there. If I go back to when I was two-stepping, having a good time, and I'm thinking to myself, on Sunday I'm supposed to be preaching and telling people about the goodness of me? Didn't matter how I was raised. It's where I was. But now here I am. So it's not about what I could see. It's not even about what I could feel. It's about what God's plan was for me. And as I began to submit to God's plan for my life, he began to align some things and arrange some things and adjust some things and fix some things, move some things out, bring some things in, and bless some things and move me closer to, I'm not my future state yet. Moving me toward my future state. Where are you? 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 Where are you right now? Where are you? Where are you? Hold on, I see your hand. Where are you? Where are you? Are you fighting against the process of getting you to your future state? I look at my grandmother's picture and I think, oh my goodness, she's not here. She's not here no more. But she lived a life that she can be proud. She made some major mistakes, my grandmother did. But she lived like she could be proud of, knowing I gave everything I could. I gave everything I could. And now that I made it to my future state. Can you say the same? Can you say you're on your path to your future state? Can you say you're moving there? Or you're going, dragging it, and God loves you so much, he don't mind doing that. But walk with him. Walk with him. Walk with him. Turn to, I don't know where it is. It's the story of the talents. The talents. Y'all know what that is? Is it out of Matthew? Yes. Let's do the one in Matthew, I think. The parable of the talents. Elder, as you turn and go ahead, what's your thought or question or comment? What did you say? Can somebody find it? My notes are back here. The story of the parable, rather, of the talents. The talents. Matthew 25 and 14. Can you be everybody there? And if you could begin when everybody gets there, if you can begin reading, and I'm going to pause you at different times because again, until we get our cool mic system, they can't hear you. That what I'm saying. So I gotta relay.
For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods.
Pause real quick. The kingdom of heaven. When we hear the kingdom of heaven, we think, oh, that's just up there somewhere. Heaven is God's realm. The kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven and kingdom of God are interchangeable. It's a place where the king dominates. So if you're in the kingdom, you are a part of it. You're saved, you're a part of it. That means every person that's here. So they said the kingdom of heaven is like a man who left to a far country. Hey, I'll be back, like Jesus did he not? And he gave unto his servants, that's you and I, talents, goods, stuff to do. Keep going.
And unto one he gave 5 talents. To another 2. And to another 1.
Pause. Did it say he gave the bishop this, the evangelist that, the normal person that ain't nothing, they sit in the back this, and then the deacon over here that? Does it say that? No. Wait a minute. So all 3 are servants. He gave all 3 something to do. All 3 have something. So again, this concept in your mind, well, That's just for the leaders. You know what I'm saying? I two-step, I don't kill nobody, I don't do no drugs, I'm good. Take that out of your mind. Take that out of your mind. It's not about a title. It's not about if you're in leadership or not. If you are a servant of God, he gave you something to do. He gave you something. He invested something in you. If you're a servant of God. Am I lying? Did y'all hear that? That's the word, right? He invested something in each and every one of you. Y'all see that? Not so it ain't where, because this is what I used to do. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. That's the pastor. Okay, as long as I don't do no drug, as long as I don't kill nobody, I pay my tithes. You know what I'm saying? When I got it, okay, and I two-step. Right? I'm good. I'm maintaining. That's it. I'm telling you what Josiah used to. I ain't talking about nobody. I'm talking about me. I'm maintaining that one thing I wanted to do, but you know what? I did that. So kudos to me on this week. I'm good. Can we be real? I'm just being real with how I lived. I went like this, you know what I'm saying? And last time I didn't, so I'm good. Like, I'm winning right now, and I ain't do no drugs. Because all my other friends, they doing drugs, doing that, and I ain't like them. So because I'm not like them, the world, I'm good. I'm just maintaining. I'm straight. I'm telling you what I used to do. And shoot, I'm here. They ain't even here. I'm good. I'm really good now. God, hey, come on, God. Look, I'm good. I'm going to come, so I'm good with God. I'm straight. Can we be real?
Yes, sir.
Keep going.
To every man according to his several ability.
To every according to your ability. To you. It's personalized again. It's personalized again. Keep going. Keep going.
And straightway took his journey.
He left. I'm out. I'm out. Now we know that Jesus left thousands of years ago, which means at that moment, remember, God is a creation. God created time. So it's not so at that moment, you were already a part of all of that. I just got that revelation. You were part of all of that in that particular moment. We started thinking about you. As a plan was a part of you. What he was going to invest in you was already done at that time. Keep going. Keep going.
Then he had received the 5 talents, went ahead and traded with the same, and made them another 5 talents. So he produced fruit with what he was given, according to his own ability. Produce fruit for what he was given. It does not say he preached. It does not say that he collected offering. It does not say that he cleaned a building. It says that he did what with his money? What he was given? He traded with them and made them another 5 talents.
Exchanged. What I've been given, I'm giving it. And because I'm investing what I've been given, now I'm yielding fruit. Did you see that? What I've been given, I'm investing, I'm giving it. What I've been given, I'm giving it. I'm giving it. I'm pouring it out. I'm giving it. I'm pouring it out. I'm investing what I've been given according to who I am. So if I'm left-handed, I'm giving my left hand. If I'm right-handed, I'm giving my right hand. You don't have to switch to become left-handed just because the pastor's left-handed, Ryan. You can be you. Be what God, as long as you're giving, as long as you're being what God made you to be, as long as you're giving what God put inside of you. You can't give what I am, and I can't give what you are. So you can only give what God has given you. The question is, are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Keep going. Keep going.
And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gave another 2.
The person that got what seemingly to us is less. Okay. I only got 2. That's all I got. But what I had, I gave. What I had, I gave. What was inside of me, what it was invested inside of me, I did something with it. I only got 2. The best I got. Other dude doing 5. What's the icky shuckle? Is that what that is? You remember that? Okay. I had 5. I gave my 5, but man, I only got 2. All I was able to do was just 2. But he did it. He did it. He did it. He did it. Remember, is the second one the bishop though? Was that the? It doesn't say that. Just servant. So it's not about your title. It's not about your position. It's about, are you giving what you were given? Keep going.
But he that had received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money.
Are you hiding the thing that God has given you? Are you hiding it? Are you hiding it? Are you hiding it? Are you hiding it? Sometimes we not even understand. Sometimes we know that there's something special in us, but because we don't know how to use it, or we're afraid to use it, or we don't look like everybody else's, I'm just gonna keep this in my pocket real quick, you know what I'm saying? Because what will people say? What does that even look? What is a ministry? Because to us this is ministry, but everything else is not. What is a ministry that does this? What does that even look like? That ain't no real ministry, right? That look goofy, don't it? Right? I don't know what that was. Okay, but I think you understand the point we're trying to make. It's not about what everybody else thinks about what God gave you. It's not about that. God put it inside of you to be who you are. And he has you coming to church, having an experience with God. Let's put it that way. So that you can be transformed and perfected to get into your future state. All along, doing what you do as God created you to do. So that when you're up here, you're the best, whatever this is, in the world. That look flicked, don't it? I'm being comical, but I think you understand the point. You understand the point.
Yes, yes.
Meanwhile, Satan is like, I can't have this.
That's right.
Let me do what I can to keep them from the transformative experience that they need. Because we think sometimes, well, this is just about me giving. I gave. What you don't understand is, as you give, God is giving to you. You get blessed and healed and preserved and made whole just by the participating of it. So when you don't participate in giving what God gave you, you lose double. You lose out because the people that should be blessed, God's like, well, you're not producing fruit. And you don't get blessed in the way that you can get blessed because you're not participating in it. Given it shall be given unto you. Not just about money. The thing, the X, what you need. I want to wear that hat later on. What you need, what you're looking for. The deliverance, the peace. And we don't do this for blessings, but y'all know what I'm saying. The stuff you're looking for, you get by participating. Where the presence of the Lord is, there is liberty. So when you're participating, when God is using and working through you, there's peace, there's liberty, there's freedom in that space and in that moment. So not only does Satan not want you to move in the plan of God, Satan doesn't want you to benefit from it. So let me keep them from being at church. You tired, ain't you? I know. You know what? You messed up last night. You definitely can't be there. Who's heard that before? I've heard that before. You know you messed up last night. So because you messed up last night, church, the last place, you can't be there. Not knowing that that's the very place you should be. So that you can give and be blessed and experience God to get what you need. Why is it that we do the exact opposite of what we actually need? Does that make any sense? No, but that's what Satan does. Every single day, I see your hand, to get you from, I'm coming to you, to get you from your, to stop you from getting to your future state. Not only does he want to stop the plan of God in your life, he doesn't want you to benefit from the process. To render you ineffective, to destroy you. So you can't be a blessing and you can't get a blessing. We don't do this for a benefit, but there's a benefit in serving God, even if it's this. It don't have to be projecting and preaching and teaching. Be what God made you to be, where he made you to be it. Ain't got to be always quoting scripture. That's not what God called you to do. You can live the scripture. You can live the word. Peace can follow you. Miracles can follow you where you are. Evangelist first, and then we'll go to you, and then we'll go to you, Dean Connie. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the sin nature, the sin nature, shame, when Adam and Eve hid from God, then shame came in.
Yes, she said when I'm repeating. So she said when Adam and Eve hid from God, then shame came in.
So as a result, that transcended, that's just in our nature, in our Adamic nature. So whenever we do things, even if we head-wise know what is right, it is in our nature until we have been renewed in our mind in that area.
We have to be renewed in our mind in the area because that's a part of our nature. Go ahead, Dean Connie.
I know for myself. God has provided an aid and a resource. Remember, a resource for me.
Yes.
Okay. So if I don't use that aid to help me, because I have responsibility of what He's given me. He said, "Those thoughts and plans I have for constance."
That's right.
So if I'm not taking responsibility in that, and help myself to achieve what He says, and to do what He says to walk, I may mess up, and maybe I may not do it all the time. But my step is, if He's given me the opportunity to use the aid in the my resource to help me to move forward. I said the other day, the Lord moved my mother.
Yes, the Lord moved your mother. I'm repeating so they can hear it. Yes.
And not to stand back. So my best way for me
yes,
is to work in the ministry that He's provided for me to come to the church.
Yes. I think one of the challenges, so what Dean Connie was saying is she's found a safe place for her and to be. One of the challenges is if the ministry that God gave you, if it doesn't connect specifically and directly to this building, then what do you do? That's part of the challenge that many of us experience and that we face. Well, what do? We have to begin to rewire our thinking where ministry, because when we think about it, in my mind, I go back to the old school, little girls wear like them, them socks with the little lace coming out and like the hard leather shoes, like patent leather shoes, and like the little flowery dress. You know what I'm saying? Little boys with their little suit or whatever. I go back to those days. And so when we hear and we think ministry, this is what we think about. As opposed to, what did you say earlier? A training place, a place where we get our marching orders, a place where we encounter God to grow and to experience Him differently so that as we go forth to do all of this is ministry. My ministry is I don't clock in and clock out when I preach. All right, well, ministry done. Let's go and do something else. No, every moment of my life is ministry. It's who I am. Did you hear that? Not what I do. It's who I am. God had a plan in me. Okay, I'm gonna make the side like this. I'm make them a little short. I'm gonna make you get bald head when you get a little older though. And then I'm gonna do all these things like that. Because God knew me. And as I live and I breathe and I talk and I do things, it's all ministry and being who God made me to be. Not who I've decided to be, who God made me to be, and walking in that and getting closer and closer to the future that God has for me. Yes, ma'am.
Would you say, or correctly, the word says the kingdom of So we know that the kingdom is with King John.
Yes.
So the kingdom was in us every day.
Yes.
And we should let the king dominate.
That's right. And where we go, the king goes. The kingdom goes with you. The kingdom goes with you. On your job, is it Kroger's or Kroger?
Kroger.
I call it Kroger's.
Yeah,
at Kroger's. Thank you. It's S. It's French. At Kroger's. Bring the kingdom goes with you. Remember, image and likeness. So yes, I looked at myself and I was like, man, I look just like my dang on dad. What is going on right now? This is crazy. But then I also realized it's not just about what you look like, it's how are you carrying yourself. And you carry yourself not just on Sundays and on Wednesdays and on Mondays for prayer. It's every day. It's how you deal with your people in your life and your family and your loved ones and all these things. It's what God put inside of you, the passion and thing he's put on top of you, the thing he makes you do. You a protector and you be cooking stuff and you a helper. I can't do them things like that. He ain't put that on me. I don't know what I would do. Now I can cook though. I cook though. But everything else, that's not me. He put that on me. You got to be God-like in that ministry every day, 24/7. You sleeping, ministering. Sleeping, ministering, snoring and carrying on, ministering. So change this concept of what ministry is. It's who you are, not just what you do. Not just what you do. I'm coming to you. Go ahead. And we got to finish that verse. Keep going. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You sometimes get so caught up in ministry that it's being a show.
I think you know the answer to that.
Yes, I still like to dance. I don't lie. I'll tell everybody. I don't lie. That's one thing I don't do.
I dance. I dance.
But people don't do some things because they're more cautious of what man sees than what God sees. When God is the one who knows this real, true heart.
That's right. You're right about that. That wasn't a question, but that was a good point, though. That was good. Deacon Cameron, go ahead. What's your point?
About the guy with one chapter, more or less.
Yeah.
He did the chapter. Sometimes looking back on, I could just say for me.
Yeah.
I look at things like my blessings, I see things I'm good at, things I'm not good at. Sometimes I have things that I'm great at. Good at that, they're not developed. So when I'm not developed, it's like you know they're there, but you don't know how to use them. So you kind of like you're kind of shy about using it because you don't want to mess up.
I'm so glad you said that.
It's like I look at that.
So glad.
Not saying he did it because he was trying to hide it from God. He didn't know what to do.
Now, go to Ephesians 4:12. Ephesians 4:12. Look at this, y'all. I know a verse. Look at that. You see that? You see that? Did y'all see that? I know the verse. Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Future state. Look at that. I ain't there yet. We working. We climbing there. Okay. We getting there. Yes. Well, can you read that aloud?
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints. For the perfecting of the saints,
which acknowledges the fact that God has placed things in you that need to continue. You need to continue to work through them. And we're going to get to what happens when you don't use them. We're going to push through this real quick. The issue is not that he did it and failed. It's that he didn't try. He hit it. It didn't say he did his best. He applied it and he wasn't good at it, but he got better because it was what he was made to do. And now he's good at it. It didn't say he tried. It said he hit it. He didn't even try. He didn't even try. To one point, you can say he acknowledged it because he had to put it somewhere, which means he knew it was there. Many of us, we know there's something. We might not be able to name it. I'll tell you right now, there are some things in me I cannot name. I have no idea. It don't look like or sound like nobody else. And I can't look at other preachers and teachers and pastors and be like, oh, well, yeah, that's I don't know. What is a cultivator? Someone said, what? I don't even know. True story. A friend of mine said, God said you're a cultivator. I'm looking at the scriptures like cultivate, spirit of cultivation. I don't see it in there. What does that even mean? Who was that? Who does this? True story. The next day, I'm walking through Washington Park. Oh God, I wish I knew what a cultivator was. 'Cause I lived downtown over the Rhine. This is before Ebony. Wish I knew what a cultivator was. I had Googled it the night before and talking about some farm implement that was like digging up soil. I'm like, I'm a farm implement? What are you trying to say about me? Now I'm more confused than ever because I'm trying to compare what God placed inside of me with other people. I had this concept of what ministry was, and I'm like, well, ministry has to look and sound like that. I don't know how to use this thing that you put inside of me. What do you want me to do? To get to your point about bearing it as opposed to doing something. God, I want to do it. I don't know what that means, though. I know what a cultivator was. And as I'm walking through Washington Park, there were some grounds people working on the earth. And guess what they had? A cultivator. And I only knew because I had Googled it. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but okay. The same thing. The guy was digging up this earth, digging up this old earth so that good things could be planted there. He was tilling up the soil so that seeds could be planted, pulling up old dead stuff so that things could breathe and so seeds could be planted. I'm like, I understand. Because I had a willingness to walk in what God made for me, even though I don't know no other cultivators like that. At least no one that has acknowledged it. And I can't read it in the Bible. And I'm like, man, maybe he was on some other stuff talking about, I got a word for you. Like, okay, man, like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because come on. You know what I'm talking about. But boom, there it was. I asked, I looked it up, and I'm walking, and what I see, somebody called. And then look at this. The next day, I go through the same area, like, well, I mean, I see some things. In the area where he had stripped all this stuff, he was planting new things. New things were being planted. And I'm like, oh. Because now I had a greater understanding of what God placed inside of me. And then all of a sudden, all these things start clicking for me. It's like, oh, that's why you have me jump on nonsense sometimes. That's why you made me like this. That's why you didn't give me a tolerance for nonsense spiritually. Oh, I got to work on it a little bit. I can't be as vicious sometimes. I get it. Okay, God. Because cultivating, you can't tear up the good stuff to get to the weed. But you got to get to the weed, though. Also, you're sharpening, you're perfecting me so that you can use me to till up the soil, to dig up the weeds, so that good things can be planted, while still letting the things that are you to remain and to flourish. And that's a very precise thing to do, but it's also a dirty, loud job. A dirty, loud job. Oh, I got it. But I'm not willing to hide it. I just don't know how to use it yet. And what's happening is God is teaching me step by step and experience by experience. So what happens if I make the decision to acknowledge and to lean into the factual thing as opposed to the God thing? I don't feel good. That's a true statement, by the way, right now, at this moment. I don't feel good. I don't. It's the truth. It would be cool to be at home, you know what I'm saying? Watching some Netflix, can't have it because I don't feel good. I'm not saying that for kudos. I'm just being real in the moment. I'm tired, and I don't feel good. But I also understand that in order for me to get to this future state, that everybody's going to die. Unless God takes you, you will. I looked at my grandmother's picture. What are you doing to ensure that when it's your time, you've gotten there? Or at least you're pushing as hard as you can. So if I'm not here to get, to receive, to be transformed, how can I ever get there? Let's push the real quick. Finish this and we'll come to an end. Go ahead.
After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh.
He coming back.
He reckoned
with them. Keep going.
And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought another 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 more talents.
5 more talents.
His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things.
Pause real quick. We skip over this stuff because we don't quite understand it. I've been faithful over the things he's given you. I'm going to make you ruler. God means what he says and says what he means. There's a life out after this, and there's stuff to do. The preparing is not even just for now. It's for you proving that you can manage what he's going to give you for eternity. And it's hard for us because all we can think about is what we can touch and feel and what we know is around us now. But there is a life outside of this. There's a life outside of this. You don't have to be Christian to know there's a life outside of this. There's something more. There's things happening around us. There's life that continues. Nothing ends, it continues. That's what hurts so bad when a loved one passes, because it doesn't compute with us. Because to us, life doesn't end, it continues. It continues. So ruler of many things, where? In the life to come. Keep going.
Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.
Joy. Keep going.
He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things.
They're the same thing. Keep going.
Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord.
But here comes the third dude.
And then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, that hast there is thine. Pause
real quick. Fear. I knew it, but I was afraid. So because of my fear, I did not do. Y'all see that? Fear, I did not do because I was afraid. I knew, but I did not do. I did not attempt. I did not attempt. In gymnastics, you get points for doing little moves and stuff like that. Part of the points are for the attempt. Did you attempt it? Did you attempt it? Did you attempt it? Did you attempt it? Keep going.
His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant.
Do you want God to say that to you? Keep going.
Thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury.
Do something.
Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto everyone that shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall not be taken away, even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Cast ye the unprofitable servant. If you're not bearing fruit, you are unprofitable. Or you run the risk of being unprofitable. Sorry, let me put it that way. Can't call you unprofitable. God has to do that. You do not bear fruit, you run the risk of being unprofitable. Bearing fruit is not preaching and teaching. Bearing fruit is according to what God has created you to be and to do. Even if it's this. Whatever the ministry is that God gave you, podcasting, cooking, cleaning, pastoring, teaching, preaching, being an example for young people outside, encouraging people, walking. There are millions and millions and millions of possibilities. I didn't know what the heck a damn cultivator was till I asked God and he showed me. Whatever it is, and all of it is not preaching and teaching. Whatever it is, do it. Do it to the glory of God. And here's the key, just be who God made you to be. Don't worry about the fear. Don't worry about what you know, what you even understand. Just do it. And God has you in a place where people that love you and care about you, that can continue to work to perfect you. Pastors work to perfect the saints, not because out of their own experience, through the direction of the Holy Spirit, to help bring the best out of you so that you can do the best for God. Last comment, we'll bring it on in.
The fact that I use the word living organism, because, we're not supposed to be ourselves. We'll keep that time to ourselves and be selfish. God said plant seeds. But that means you're going out and you're working to touch others. This is a true story. Now, Wednesday, we were in the vision class. I had brought exams and I didn't realize I lost something until I got home. That in from vision class. And I got home and I couldn't find it. So I called ahead of time, I couldn't share it, I called ahead of time to find out. They said, well, nobody turned me. Gave the church to do what I was supposed to be doing. And before I came, I pulled in the parking space. You know what I said, going over there, going over there. Don't you know that what I lost, they turned it in. But the point I'm making is that once I left that, I said, yeah, I just receive you again. I walked out and I shared with what I said, God, I mean, that person said, God's good. She is. And I shared with you what she said. She said, I need to hear that.
There it is.
I'm saying is that talent, that one talent. God said, that you have to go for the multiply, it has to be used.
That's right.
You can't be selfish. Share it.
Share it. There's something too, and we're coming in. Thank you guys for joining our first service. God bless you. Come back and see us here again. We'll have another service. Won't be here long, but God continues this word for an experience, help transform you. God bless you.